Unlike the original storyline in My Hero Academia, I wanted to make sure that All Might didn't lose the sludge villain a second time, so I gave All Might a special backpack that ensured he won't lose the sludge villain, but even if he did lose the bottle, the sludge villain won't be able to get out of the bottle unless someone else freed him. And I said to All Might, please try not to lose that bottle or sludge villain, because that villain is dangerous and he's killed people with his quirk, so be careful. And then All Might said, thanks, is there anything you want before I go? And then I said, yes, as a matter of fact, I would like an autograph from you. And then I gave him my notebook to sign, and it says Hero Analysis for the Future. And then All Might read my Hero Analysis notebook, and he read all the detailed drawings in my notebook on all the heroes, and he even read my detailed hero analysis on himself. And then All Might got a serious look on his face, and he said, so you know about my injury and who I really am? And then I said, yes, I'm a genius, All Might, and it wasn't hard for me to figure it all out. And then All Might laughed and said I should expect nothing less from the world's greatest forensic detective and future #1 hero. And then I asked All Might a serious question, so have you found someone to pass your quirk onto yet? And then All Might said, well, I am seriously considering some people now. And then he looked at me and smiled warmly, and then he signed my hero analysis notebook and he jumped away. And then I saw that All Might still dropped the damn bottle, and I scowled, and Himiko Toga ran up to me and asked me, are we going to your apartment now? And then I said, yes, my love, but not right now. A dumb hero made another stupid mistake, so we have to help him out. And then I found out where the bottle had landed, and it landed beside Katsuki Bakugo and his friends, and unfortunately this time it was one of Katsuki's friends that got captured by the sludge villain. And since Katsuki Bakugo had never been in a life or death situation before, he hesitated to stop the sludge villain because he didn't want to accidentally kill one of his best friends. And Tsubasa, his friend, screamed, Kachan, please help me. And then Katsuki Bakugo said, I can't, I don't know what to do. If I punch him I might accidentally kill you. And then Katsuki Bakugo screamed, I don't know what to do, I've never been in this situation before. And he said in his mind, oh come on Katsuki, think, what would Deku do, what would that nerd do? And then the sludge villain began to laugh when he noticed Katsuki Bakugo and the other heroes were just standing there watching. And then me and Toga ran up to the crowd really fast, and I shouted, don't just stand there, do something. And then I flung a rock really fast at the sludge villain, and it took off both of the sludge villain's eyes, temporarily releasing Tsubasa. And then I simply just ran into the fray, and I moved before my mind could think, and I shouted at the top of my lungs really loud for the world to hear, Detroit smash. And when the overwhelming force of my punch connected precisely against the arms of the sludge villain, he couldn't regenerate one part of his sludge, permanently injuring him. And then the force of my punch created a rain cloud that formed a rainbow and split the clouds. And then all the heroes said incredible, and All Might stood there still in shock watching as I saved someone without thinking about my own life and my own safety. And All Might realized in that moment of clarity, I've found my successor. And then right after I threatened the sludge villain, he went back in his bottle, and I told the other heroes, please don't lose that bottle again. And then Himiko Toga asked me, now can we go back to your apartment? And then I smiled warmly at Himiko Toga and I said, of course my love. And then we walked away near a back alley, and then All Might caught up to us and he said, young Midoriya, wait please, I need to talk to you about something. And I already knew what he wanted, and I said, this better be very important, All Might, because I'm trying to go back home and spend some time with my girlfriend. And then All Might said, I understand, but this is very important and it's a matter of life and death. And then All Might began to tell me everything about his injury and about his quirk One for All and how it can be given to others. And then I pretended not to know about One for All, and I asked, what do you mean your quirk can be passed down to other people? And then All Might said, for years I have searched for a worthy successor, a hero that would willingly sacrifice himself and everything just to save a life, and I never saw that kind of selflessness until today, and this quirk has been my burden since I got injured. I can't do it anymore, my body is failing me. And then All Might transformed back into Small Might, and then I said, I know who you are, Toshinori Yagi, and I know your real name. And then I said, I accept your quirk, All Might.